CRN TV is connecting you with the industry leaders who are protecting us from the latest security threats. Join me, Cass Cooper, as we highlight the expertise of women who are driving innovation and solving today's toughest cyber challenges. Welcome to Channel Women in Security. Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to another episode of Channel Women in Security. I'm here with my quick friend, Sheila. She is amazing. Sheila and I met over the summer and really took a vibe and started talking a little bit more. And I just knew you have so much to share with our audience, not just academically and theoretically about cyber and security in general, but practical, pragmatic. What can solution providers and MSSPs do in terms of their resilience in real life, in real time for their clients? So Sheila, tell our audience a little bit about yourself, because I know a lot about you, but some people might not know you in the channel yet.
Absolutely. So once again, thank you so much for having me here today, Cass. And again, my name is Sheila Volante. I am the CEO of a company called Strategic Solutions. We are a service integrator for Microsoft MSPs and clients. We provide adoption change management and as well as supporting the business and technical side of deploying, important digital transformation. A bit more about myself and my background. I've been in about 20 years in about 12 different industries. I've been a project manager, business consultant, helping, adopt a lot of technology throughout my years. And so I definitely am very passionate about business, about the health of people, and also educating C-suite leaders on how to, move forward in this new digital landscape.
Yeah, I think that's the critical point, right? So we talk a lot about what people need and all the items and products out there, but how do we integrate it and put it into actual use is something that you are an expert in, and I'm sure we're going to learn a lot about you and what you do. So let's talk about how can people get a real life understanding of threat actors, right? As a user, I like to pick up my phone, open my laptop, and I love that it just works. I'm very appreciative of the people on our IT team who make that happen. But what are some real life what do we need to know as maybe a novice?
Agreed. I think that the end user sometimes doesn't really understand or know what's going on. They just see in an email, let's say, for example, if it's a phishing attack, and they're, not consciously aware that it's not real, right? And the thing is that these actors are really being more intelligent these days. They're being more smarter on counting that deliberate. And I think that the responsibility of the company is to educate those users to identify those risks or to identify those issues. I know we hear it all the time, hey, go to digital security or cybersecurity training, right? But when it comes into practicality, testing essentially the people of, is this fake or is this real? It goes back to just digital knowledge. I think that the person who is more sound and more equipped with how to deal with an actor or an issue, they're more aware of what to do by providing them with better training and awareness overall.
Do you think it's important for the regular end user to get into the nitty gritty of cybersecurity? Of course, I want everybody to read CRN, but should I really know what is happening and what products are available through Microsoft or whatever that looks like, or just a general awareness? What would you suggest there?
I think that they should do a little bit more than just general awareness now that we're really moving into this next generation of modern technology. I think that it not only encompasses in the company that you work for, but also from a personal perspective, taking the measures to protecting your data, authenticating, leveraging certain tools like Authenticator to do biometrics before you sign in. I think that it's the responsibility of a person to making sure that they're securing their assets, from a business perspective or not. It's kind of like, you go to sleep and you don't put the alarm on, right? If a burglar comes into your house, you don't have no awareness if they're coming in, right? They can be as quiet as possible. I think that same logic is also in today, in the business world as well, is that, people should be equipped with learning something a little bit more deeper than just understanding just very terminology aspects of it.
So far in the series, we've talked with organizations that focus on external threats. Let's talk about like some of those internal things that might kind of slip by some of these safeguards. Like, what is that? Tell us more.
Yes. So internally, again, you work for a company, something happens, you might be able to have access. The biggest thing internally is access to specific data. The importance of data governance internally is far more important than governance externally. And let me explain. If you are a person who is in finance and you have access to so much, right? What is the measurements of you not taking data or using it for malicious ways? And we're starting to see more of an uptick in that because companies are not taking the right approaches of really safeguarding internal data and internal processes, not to slow down the process, but to actually secure the company. Commonly, HR, as it known, is to protect the company, not people. In this case, adding in that extra layer of protection of putting people in specific security groups, can I download the data? How far can they actually go through to that next database? And so the internal, I would say, person who might be a bad actor working for a company, putting in safeguards of data governance is truly important. I think that CISO, and leadership should take a look at that because that could be considered, more of a threat than someone from the outside.
Yeah. Do you see kind of as people are organizing, do you see CISO awareness or internal security awareness as something that should maybe have an HR component? Is that too far
I
to
agree.
stretch? Okay,
No,
so why? Tell me why.
yeah, because I think that they need to go a little bit more deeper on, again, understanding, classifying the persona and classifying, are they able to move forward with X, Y, and Z? Are they able to, still be efficient with their day to day? And I think that that's not happening often. And so, C suite, all due respect, CISO, they really take a lot of time of learning out the infrastructure beyond. But internally, are there any classifications to really keep the protection of the people okay? We see it in the government today. If you are high classified, you have access to more, right? That's something you have to go through a protocol in order to make sure that you're not a bad actor within something. I'm not saying taking it that far, but I think that leaders as well as people should understand how to identify when something's not correct or right and be able to, essentially correct it through policy.
Yeah, I think that's the key component is policy because we don't want to vilify the people that we trust and we work with every single day. But at the same time, if we write down the policy and we have like a standard across the board, it sounds like that's a little bit of what you're suggesting.
Agreed. Agreed. I
Yeah.
think that the standard needs to move forward now, right? You can't just have a policy sitting in a Word document when it's not even being applied to the company. I think that there needs to be some serious understanding and movement with that as well.
Yeah. So, what other things would you recommend for people? Usually, people do some sort of audit, but what else can we do when it comes to securing our internal framework organizationally?
I think it takes beyond just only, evaluating or auditing the technology. I believe it's people evaluating the people, the process, and the technology as a whole. A 360 approach of understanding how your business is truly operating and functioning, and then adding in the specific governance and guardrails as well as optimization. It will feel like it's not a hindrance, right? A lot of end users say, I have to do this, I have to do that. It's guarding my process. Business and technology get together and really come to grips about how they are operationally sound, it would make this process a lot easier when we're introduced to new policies or introducing to new frameworks. It doesn't feel like it's a hindrance that actually IT and business can actually come together with a common understanding.
Yeah, that's good. So, let's take a flip here. And we talked a little bit about cyber insurance and being protected. Like, I think that we hear a lot at the shows, specifically like with the channel company. We talk a lot about cyber insurance and what it means and how to have it. But why is cyber insurance important to even if it's like a small business? Like,
Yes.
walk me through. Like, you always know you need insurance in the case that something happens, but sometimes the policy may not be enough. Is that correct? Like, tell me more about that.
This is so correct. Just like auto insurance policies, if you do not fit in, let's say, a hit and run or something like that, if it doesn't show that or say that in your policy that you think of, then you'll be out of money, right? Basically, you're spending on a policy that doesn't work for you. This is the same case regarding cyber. If you do not have specific policies in place that match and mirror your security policy, so if a breach does happen and they do an audit to say, did you say that you were going to do, and you don't do, then you're out. You're out of that ransom money, out of that protection. And I don't think companies are aware of that because traditionally you just ask the certain things in the questionnaire, but and the underlining of that does require some accountability on the business side. And as it relates to small business, I mean, you're trying to move in and bring your business to a par. It's important to actually take those extra steps to look at the requirements of what you are accountable for and making sure that that policy matches the framework of what you're doing, as an organization. I don't think you should take it lightly. Companies, even enterprise, don't even do this. They're, essentially they go in, they find out that they didn't really do as they said on accountability side, and the insurance company kind of backs out and say, well, you said you did this, but you're actually not doing this, so we can't really, honor your policy. And then so it makes it a very uncomfortable conversation as well as an understanding for a business to have to, get out all this additional funding that they thought they had it in the cybersecurity policy.
Yeah. That's such good insight. Well, we're coming to the end of our time. We like to keep these episodes short so people can get little bite-sized gems, but I think you gave us a lot to think about, a lot to talk through. If you can leave our audience with one thing about integrating internal protections, what would that one thing be?
Integrating internal protections, definitely evaluating your entire business with an audit first before selecting the technology is going to bring you fruit. That's one thing I want to leave out. There's a lot of products that are out there, but you have to evaluate the tree of the people process and then selecting the best technology that's going to be right. That's what I want to leave today.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Sheila, and I look forward to reading your book when it comes out. I don't know if I'm speaking that into fruition or if you're really working on it.
Yeah, you are. Once have you on Dr. Volante? I think about next year and starting to write that. But it's been a pleasure and fun to be here today. I appreciate it, Cass.
Well, we'll talk to you soon, and I hope to see you in person real soon.
Likewise.
Thank you for watching Channel Women in Security from CRN TV. Be sure to subscribe for more stories from the women who are shaping cybersecurity, breaking barriers, and making their mark on the channel ecosystem.